The plight of the black quarterback in the NFL is one many African Americans can relate to. It is a story of struggle, stereotypes, and success.
Yeah, while black play callers of all sizes and styles seem prevalent in today's game, this was not always the case. Fortunately for today's players, that glass ceiling is starting to crack.
Yeah, but many players say racism still exists and the NFL needs to do more. PIX 7's Justin Walters shows us why that playing field isn't quite level in tonight's Created Equal.
The definition of an NFL quarterback is complicated at best. From the requirements that come with the job to what a person should look like and even sound like. A quarterback isn't just a play caller, he's a CEO on the field. When you add black into the equation, the lines become blurred.
But I do feel it's important that people know the history of the black quarterback, especially since it maintains a certain degree of relevance all these years.
You won't find many that know the history better than James "Shaq" Harris. Shaq became the first black quarterback to start an NFL season opener in 1969 for the Buffalo Bills. 5 years later, he added two more firsts. The first African American to win an NFL playoff game and be selected Pro Bowl MVP.
I felt my play represented the opportunity for others to play, and that the one thing I couldn't have happen was to get released because I wasn't smart enough.
During the 70s, black athletes weren't considered smart enough to play quarterback, so they were forced into other positions. Coaches and executives thought the image of being a, quote, leader or team general was for whites only.
I think the plight of black quarterbacks is connected to black people in general, how we're often underestimated, marginalized, and particularly at a position like quarterback, which is the most unique position in team sports.
That was until Harris, Marlon Briscoe, and Joe Gilliam came along. Their breakthrough made it possible for athletes like Doug Williams.
For me to get that opportunity to play in the Super Bowl in 1988, it was huge. And I understood that, but I thought it was important that I didn't overplay it and just looked at it from the idea that I'm playing in the Super Bowl. I had to look at it from a whole different perspective because everybody made it about Washington black quarterback.
We are seeing a virtuoso performance.
On the world's biggest stage in 1988, Williams outplayed John Elway and Denver to become the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Williams' historic performance was a victory for Washington and all African Americans, an example that black people can excel in any role if given the opportunity. Helping Williams prove that point, Warren Moon in the 1980s.
I understood that it was going to be tough, and I went through a lot of different situations racially, whether it was in college or whether it was in high school, that helped me deal with what I had to deal with in the pro ranks.
Moon's path to the NFL was much different. He bet on himself and spent 6 years in the Canadian Football League, where he won 5 consecutive championships. Despite having his dream deferred, Moon got a shot in the NFL in 1984. He's still the only black quarterback inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
You could arguably say 5 of the top 10 quarterbacks in this game right now are African Americans. You can say that the top 3 highest paid player in the leagues are black quarterbacks. You can say that the Rookie of the Year last year was a black quarterback.
Some progress has been made. Patrick Mahomes, a black quarterback, won the Super Bowl last year and is now recognized as one of the new faces of the NFL. The 2019 Most Valuable Player, Lamar Jackson, is also black, and so is one of the best in the league, Seattle Seahawks' Russell Wilson.
When I came in the league, there weren't too many black quarterbacks, to be honest with the time. It's been pretty cool just to see, the excellence of black quarterbacks and what they've been able to do for their teams and their organizations and their communities.
There are more black starting quarterbacks now, but the league is still nowhere near making it an even playing field.
You need African Americans in positions of power and control. That's as simple as that.
Unfortunately, the numbers don't lie. The NFL has 0 black owners, 1 black team president, 2 black general managers, and just a handful of black coaches. The Rooney Rule, established in 2003, was put in place to increase diversity in coaching and senior operational jobs, but it's clearly fallen short. Back in May, the NFL acknowledged their flaws by approving new changes. For now on Sundays, trailblazers like Williams, Harris, and Moon sit back with pride, knowing they helped rattle the chains for diversity and inclusion.
When you look at the three highest paid players in the game being black, I think that shows that the black quarterback has not only arrived, but he's here to stay.
All right, Justin Walters joins us now here. And one name I did not hear you mention in that piece was Colin Kaepernick. I'm curious, how does he factor into everything?
Corey, he certainly has played a significant role, but not just in the rise of black quarterbacks, but how players use their voice on and off the field. Of course, as we know, Kaepernick is still without a job in the NFL. But when I spoke to players like Doug Williams, Shaq Harris, and Warren Moon, they all agree that his sacrifices were monumental.